Sighișoara is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's called one of the best preserved medieval fortified cities in all of Europe. But here's what I wanted to know. Why? Why did this place survive when thousands of others were destroyed, modernized, or bombed into oblivion? Let's find out. Sighișoara was built in the 12th century by Transylvanian Saxons, who were invited here to defend the region. And they knew exactly how to build a city like this. They built it as a fortress on a hill, 14 defensive towers, thick stone walls, designed to withstand sieges. This wasn't just a town, it was a fortress. Okay, so what happened here? Why did this place survive when so many others didn't? Well, I did some research and there are three main reasons. Firstly, Sighișoara is remote. It's in central Transylvania, not a major trade route and not a capital city. During the Second World War, this area wasn't on the front lines. Basically, it survived because it was not important enough to destroy. Second, Sighișoara never industrialized. In the 18 and 1900s, most European cities built factories, railways, and expanded rapidly. To make room, they tore down medieval walls and buildings. But Sighișoara's economy stayed small and traditional. There was no pressure to modernize. And crucially, people kept living here. This wasn't abandoned and left to decay. People have lived in these houses for generations. And lastly, UNESCO designated Sighișoara as a World Heritage Site that brought protection, funding, and international attention. Now, there are strict rules about what you can and cannot change. You can't tear down a medieval building and build a modern one in its place. You cannot put neon signs or build chain restaurants. So Sighișoara survived because it was never important enough to destroy, and then became important enough to protect. So let's see what 800 years of preservation actually looks like. Here's what's special about Sighișoara. It's not a museum. People actually live here. There are about 160 families still living inside these walls, in houses that have been standing for 500 or 600 years. And that's what keeps it alive. It's not frozen in time. It's still a functioning medieval city. The clock tower wasn't just symbolic, it was the main gate, the control point. You can climb it for views over the entire place. From up here you can see the whole citadel. There are 9 towers still standing, spaced along the defensive walls. And this is how this place was designed, as a fortress, not just a simple town. Even the school and the church were placed at the highest point. To get to the church on the hill, you have to climb this wooden staircase. It was built in the 1600s so that students can safely go to school even in winter or when it was raining. Behind me is the church on the hill. It was built in 1345 and inside you can see 500-year-old frescoes, but sadly today is closed. There's also this cemetery here, but unfortunately it's closed. Everything here is very well taken care of, and the cemetery is very atmospheric. I think it's one of Romania's most beautiful cemeteries. And there is one more thing Sighișoara is known for. This house. This is supposedly where Vlad the Impaler, the real Dracula, was born, back in 1431. And whether he was actually born here is debated, but Sighișoara claims him, and tourists come to see it. I made a whole video about Dracula if you want the full story. During the day, Sighișoara feels like a museum. At night, it's different. Listen to how quiet it is. This town wasn't built to be welcoming after dark. It was built to be defensive. Narrow streets, high walls, corners you cannot see around. In the Middle Ages, darkness was dangerous. There were no streetlights, no police, no way to call for help. If you were here at night, you were either from this town or you didn't belong. These towers weren't decoration, they were warnings. They made the city look powerful from a distance. At night, buildings feel taller, shadows feel deeper, and suddenly you feel small. Most medieval cities in Europe are now gone, destroyed by war, demolished for progress, or turned into tourist attractions. But Sighișoara is real. The walls are original. The towers are authentic. The houses people live in are 600 years old. An 800-year-old city, still alive, still standing. And now it's one of Europe's treasures.